Hi, this is Matt Johnson with Viral Marketing. Thanks so much for joining us. This is a special interview and the One Thing Hangout with Sean Kokoska. And I want to welcome Sean today. How are you doing?
Hey, Matt, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having us today.
And we're going to learn about how to really increase your sales performance. And we've got a special guest here with us, AJ Yager of Yager Media Group. AJ, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, let's get into it. So, Sean, tell us a little bit about kind of how we selected AJ to come on as a guest with you today, and his experience, and really what we're going to talk about today as far as increasing your sales performance and what led to that topic.
Yeah, well, AJ is a fantastic guy, first and foremost, and he's been a coaching client of ours for over a year now, and he's experienced just amazing growth in both his personal life as well as his business, and he made the decision back in January to jump into our Bold Sales Performance program. Now, Bold Sales Performance is an extension of what we've done with the Bold Experience program in the real estate field. Now, we launched that in Keller Williams about 5.5 years ago, and the reason we did it there in that industry is because Keller Williams is an open books company, so we know what the participants did before, what they did during, and especially what they did after. Now, let's talk about the during, because the average participant in the Bold Room would do 14.2 transactions in just a 7-week period compared to an industry average of 7.4 per year. So I want you to understand that in 7 weeks, they're having a good 2 years worth of production. So we rewrote the program for every industry, and we launched it in January. So today is to talk through some of those points. We're going to interview AJ as to what he implemented into his world that caused such massive growth and success. So I'm excited about today. And AJ, tell us first and foremost, what's the most important thing you've gotten out of the Bold Sales Performance process?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's been a lot of fun. First of all, working with a lot of the first crew for the Bold Business Group. What is the most important thing I've gotten out of it? It is the application of what I know I should be doing. So things that I've known I need to be doing, I actually get to. I'm actually forced to, well, apply them, and that is like the language patterns, the practice of our presuppositions, our tie downs, and literally writing out the sentences every single day to practice my marketing pitch, my sales pitch, in the copy that I write, and even in the conversations that I'm having all the time. So for me, that's it. It's not making the 100 calls a day or the sales part. It's the language I'm getting to master.
All right, now let's talk through this a little bit, because we teach some NLP practices and technique and language patterns that are effective in sales. And I want to give these guys meat per minute. Everybody who's watching right now, I want you to get something out of today's session that you're going to just be able to implement right away. So we talked through in Bold Sales Performance, we talked through modal operators, we talked through embedded commands, tie downs, adverb presuppositions, automatic presuppositions, we talked through temporal presuppositions, pacing and leading strategies, and finally cause and effect language. So AJ, I know that you've been writing your sentences every day, and you're getting that mind-body connection, you're really internalizing some of that. So would you mind sharing some of those sentences that you've written out with some of our participants today?
Sure, I'm excited to, because I have kind of a system that I've created. Now some of them I will usually time block, and I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit later, but I'll spend time in the morning and write them out. But what was interesting, as the weeks progressed, I didn't just time block. I started noticing that in my emails that I was writing, just the general emails to clients, or even to coaching clients, or to potential clients, and even to my family and such, I would notice, wow, I'm inserting these embedded commands and things, and not noticing it, now noticing it consciously. So when I find myself writing that sentence out and I throw one of those in there, I copy and pasted it, and I would put it in my Evernote. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick screen share so you can see it. So this is my here it is, Bold Business, right over here. So what I did was 10 sentences a day, and I created a legend. So based on what we learned to this point, I had embedded commands, modal operators, adverb presuppositions, all these, and I color-coded them. Then I would put the date, and as I would go through, you can see I've done a ton of these, and I would, after I wrote the sentence, go back and just color-code it and or make caps, so that I would start really visually getting a conscious connection of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So because it was integrated into my life, then it made it that much more, it makes it sink in a lot more. So that's been a lot of fun.
Well, why don't you share some of the language patterns with them? Just read some of your sentences if you don't mind. I would love to hear them.
Sure. Obviously, now it's time to take the next step, to go deeper, to finally see how your thoughts and life habits have been setting you up to feel stuck in your body, repeating the same old food habits over and over, right?
Love it. So,
yeah, I've got some more if you want.
In there, obviously. Now, it may not be obvious to the person, yet when you use that word, then it automatically becomes obvious to them. I mean, even without thinking, they just recognize that it's obvious that they should take some action. So,
right.
Excellent, AJ. Good job.
Sure.
Love that. So, language patterns. You know, when you and I were talking, you said, I love BOLD because it's action-oriented. Talk to me about that.
Okay. I've been in a lot of trainings. I've been in a lot of seminars ever since I was a wee little lad. And there are a lot of education. There are a lot of fun. There are a lot of hoorah. You feel great when you're there. But very few of them actually stop and make you do something there. And I'm not talking about writing. I'm actually talking about, hey, and this is you, Sean. You're up there saying, guys, now we're going to go do something right now. It's going to be 45 minutes. You need to make as many calls as you can. And by the way, there's a bell up there. And every time you get a close or a referral, you got to go ping it and then put your score up on the board. Now that brings competition into it. And you get entrepreneurs or business people in a room and there's a little bit of organized chaos and they get to go play and do what they're supposed to be doing at the event. That's a totally different level. And that to me was impressive. I didn't even know that was a part of it. So I was like, whoa, really? We're going to do this now and here? So it gets you out of your comfort zone. And as you say, Sean, part of BOLD gets you comfortable being uncomfortable, which I love, and everybody has fun with it. And when you hear other people making calls and then there's bells going off, you feel like you're kind of in a stock exchange room or something.
It creates an energy, right?
Yeah.
And we have people stand up and actually make calls right there in the classroom. We go around, we listen to them. After they're done, we offer some coaching and things of that nature. Yet it's that competitive environment that people just thrive on. In fact, at the very first step to BOLD, the average participant walks out that room with 3 referrals to their business just in 45 minutes of calling. So the scripts that we provide, they work. There's no question about that. So we get them to buy into scripting and writing their own scripts and their own sentences because, frankly, we have multiple industries represented in those rooms. So it also creates a wonderful networking opportunity. Now,
can I talk to that real quick, the scripts? Sorry to cut you off. That was something that you just reminded me of, and I've written scripts. You kind of like start with a blank piece of paper and write them, but when the scripts you provided, when you actually go and call them and use them, they're not just corny scripts. These are proven scripts over time. I know you guys have tested these things out. But what was interesting, I thought, well, wait a minute, where in my business do I need more scripts? And I went and found myself rewriting them for specific situations that had nothing to do with sales, but it was like how I talk to my team and how I talk to new team members or how I even talk to people who are already aboard. So having those scripts allows me to create other systems in my business that I don't have to do everything, but I have like, hey, here's how we go do this, and there's the script. That was really powerful to get back in that mindset of, hey, these things are important to have.
Yeah, and when you script your business, see, a script is a system, and a system is a standardized process that produces a custom result. See, your clients, your customers, they don't know that you just said the same thing to another prospect 1 minute ago, and they don't care as long as you're getting the results that you want. Now, we talked about the financial thermostat, AJ, and you know, just like the thermostat on the wall, if you set it at 72, if it jumps up to 74, the AC is going to kick on and bring it down. Or if it drops down to 70, the heater is going to kick on and bring it up to 72. And each one of us, we have a financial thermostat that we've unwittingly set within our own mind, which is the amount of money that I believe that I deserve to make given time invested. Now, we go through a couple of exercises that really reset the financial thermostat, raise the financial thermostat. And the reason for that is because, you know, we'll disappoint ourselves every day and be okay with it. Yet it's kind of fun to introduce some accountability that's going to stretch the mind to a higher level of a financial thermostat. So oftentimes when coaching with individuals and we're talking about financial goals, and let's just say they made $50,000 last year and they want to increase that to $100,000, then the first question I would ask is, well, okay, so the goal for 2015 is 100,000. That's fantastic. It's your goal. We're going to make that happen. Yet let me just ask you, what if you made 90,000 instead of 100? How would you feel? And what do they generally say, AJ? What do you think?
Some get a little bit uncomfortable.
Some get a little uncomfortable.
Some get a little uncomfortable. Some like light up and think, oh wow, that's nice. And they like it. They're like, okay, yeah, I could do that. But they've just never been taken to that place.
Right. So then you say, well, what if you made 80,000 instead of the 100,000 goal? How would you feel? And they say, well, I still feel like a rock star because it's 30,000 more than I made the last year, right? And so I just keep ratcheting it down to the point that they say, no way. If I made that much money, then I would feel like a failure. So what does that tell you about their financial thermostat? Is it really at $100,000? Or is it stuck closer to around 60?
Right.
So, the point being that unless we do something to raise the financial thermostat to where they have the mindset that if I don't make $100,000, I'm going to feel like a failure, well then they're never going to make $100,000.
Exactly.
So we go through a couple of exercises, AJ. I want you to outline some of those exercises and what it did for your financial thermostat, if you don't mind.
Okay. This one is really fun to talk about because you know what I'm going to pull up. I have a video on my iPhone that I've been playing every morning, and it's like taking those money machines, those things you get in, you're trying to grab all the dollars, taking it and that's times 10. So we did an exercise where everybody brought in $20 and got exchanged for 21s, and we took some time for everybody to lay down on the floor. And everybody took it and made it rain and just let all the money dump on them while they're saying, I'm a money magnet, and whatever they want to say. And it just was so much fun by seeing all this money flying at you. And we had our videos pointed up to see all the money falling at us and all the excitement and the cheering. So that just got everybody's thermostat up higher. Just like everybody, the room just felt abundant. The energy was completely different. And that was just one of them. The other one that was really impressive to do was you have I can tell them this one?
Check.
Okay, so you have a piece of paper that looks like a check register, and you are given a certain amount of money and put in your deposit, but you have to spend that amount of money, and then you keep doubling it. So the next time you get double, so if it started 2,000, then it's 4,000 the next day, then you have to spend 4,000, then it's 8,000, then you have to spend 8,000, and so on. And the exercise was about 20 minutes, and people are humming and hawing, or they're just busy doodling, and some people got up into the millions of dollars very quickly. And just doing that, because you think of the things you want to buy and the things you want to have in the future, but when you do it now, you could feel that notch going up. Oh, yeah, I would spend that much money on a nice yacht. I would spend that much money on a great vacation for my entire family. I would pay off all my so-and-so's debts, or help out these people, or give this money away. And it was just so much fun to spend it. It's really cool.
Well, and the whole point of that is that if you don't know what you do with the money, if you had it, well, then what's the point of investing the time and the energy to make it, right?
Right.
So understanding what you're going to do with it is, I think, a critical step. See, a lot of people, they struggle with success. They struggle with gaining success because they haven't really defined what success is to them.
Yeah.
And with all the different definitions of what success actually is, when you look it up in the dictionary, it's just getting what you want. So it starts with understanding what you want.
Yeah.
Right? And whatever it is you want, when you accomplish that, well, then you're successful, yes?
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So we talked about eliminating some limiting words from our language patterns and our habitual vocabulary. What has that done for you, AJ, as a person in sales and marketing? Talk to me.
Sales and marketing, and even in just general life. It's been a conscious reminder that our language that we use, the words we use, and how we use them is very important. And I'll give an example. The word but, B-U-T. Try, T-R-Y. These words that when you, in the workshop, we're bringing it up, and we have like a matrix, like saying, say this, don't say this, or when this comes up, say this instead, more appropriately. So instead of but, it's, I use and or though. So I've been, every single time I start to comma but, before I type it now, I'm finding myself saying though, and, or just causing myself to think differently, because it literally changes the structure of the sentence which I've noticed can change the entire outcome of what I'm trying to accomplish with the person I'm communicating with, whether it's oral or I type it. So it's that conscious reminder, like just tweaking a little bit on how you're saying things and what kind of words you're saying. Getting rid of try is one that a few of our teammates, we call each other out. And we also have this lovely accessory wristband that we have on, that when we we find ourselves saying that or not controlling our first thought, we take this thing off as hard as it is and switch it to the next side, just to get that physiology involved with the psychology and catch ourselves. So that's what it does for me. And I literally catch myself maybe about a dozen times now. Whereas like maybe if I wasn't catching myself a dozen times, how many times am I just using that kind of negative in between? I'm a positive thinking guy, but even still I was using the negative language patterns.
Yeah, and that word "but," it really negates everything that you said before that, right? Like, for example, AJ, I love your jacket, but you expect me to say something negative, right?
Right.
I love that jacket, and those earbuds look really good on you, right? So when you repeat the word, you expect something more positive, right? And yeah, the word "try," really an unnecessary word in the English language for the most part. Yes. For example, I'm trying to think. No, just say I'm thinking, right? Just eliminate.
Just go for it.
What it does is it changes your thinking, which changes your physiology, it changes your actions, and changes your results. And that's the whole idea behind eliminating some of this limiting language, like want, need. All of those are limiting words. And when you get clear with your language patterns, you get clear with your life, and clarity is power. So, like, for example, I want that. Well, the brain is going to work overtime to give you what you want, which is it's going to work overtime to keep you in want.
Wanting,
yes?
right.
So when we change that to I choose or I intend to, well, then it causes you to get clear, right?
Yeah.
You might say, well, I want that, and then when you change your language pattern, you realize I don't really want that. I'd rather have this instead, yes?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah, AJ, why did that? I think that had probably the biggest effect on you, right? From the bold, kind of the whole program. What did you take away from that specific law?
Clarity is power. Or
clarity is power.
Clarity is power. Well, that's one of my favorite bold laws, as Sean says, every single one of them. Clarity is power. Since I started the 6-week course, I've noticed that my decision making has become clearer. Where before I would analyze things a little bit more, there's just this ability to see the outcome of that thing and decide quicker. Yeah, maybe it was the wrong choice or not, and I wasn't like hesitating. I was just clear on what I needed to do in that present moment. So I've got that one highlighted on my piece of paper here, which we go through and we always highlight, I think, every week, like our theme. So clarity of power was so powerful to me that I actually installed it using NLP into my values for career. So clarity is in my top 6 values that I truly value when it comes to my career, and it's been really amazing to continue seeing that clarity in my work, and then also taking it home and seeing that in my personal life.
Yeah, that's cool because and Sean, you know this, being an entrepreneur and being around entrepreneurs all the time, that's one of the things that they have is that unique ability just to instantly see exactly what they want to do and make a decision, and it speeds everything up and it pulls things into their life so much quicker.
Yeah, we throughout the bold process, we introduce a couple of proprietary tools that help people with clarity in business actions. So, for example, the GPS stands for Goal, Priority, Strategies, meaning one goal for the year. What are the 3 priority positions that must be accomplished in order for the goal to be real? And then 5 strategies under each priority. Now, strategies are grounded in actual actions, where a priority is more conceptual, yet it's measurable. For example, add 500 clients to my network this year. That's a priority because it's not grounded in action. It's kind of high level, right? Now, strategies, 5 strategies under that one priority. One strategy might be making 20 contacts every single day, asking them to join my company, right? So when you complete that activity, you understand specifically what you need to do. You understand the why behind it, the purpose, in other words, then I don't think anything will stop you. When the why is powerful enough and you have clarity to action, the how, it simply gets done, right?
Well put.
So we talked about the energy that we put out is the energy we attract. It's that boomerang effect. You know, you put it out there, and that's what comes to you. Obviously, when you hang out with somebody who's grumpy all the time, well, I don't know about you, I get a little bit kind of grumpy, right? And yet when you hang out with that person that you know that's happy all the time, well, then you get happy. So we really focused one of the lessons, one of the day's presentations on the energy of gratitude. What did that do for you, AJ?
Very powerful things. I always thought of myself as a person of gratitude. Like I wake up and talk about at least 2 or 3 things that I'm grateful in my head, or I say it to someone, whether it be my girlfriend or my mom or somebody. I want to make sure I express gratitude right away. But again, it's a course where we're talking about all this great stuff together every week. You know, you get that refresher course, and so it gets back on your mind. And gratitude, I think, is like that fuel in the gas tank that takes you through the rest of your day. So if you start the day off with gratitude, then the entire day is going to be better. That's my belief. That's my experience. And everybody says, you know, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or they start off and it's just everything starts off chaotic or negative. Well, that's okay, but you can still choose to be grateful for whatever it is. So one example in my life is that even though I found myself, let's say it's 9 in the morning, I've been up since 5:45, got my morning meditation and stuff done, but things just aren't clicking. And after we've been reminded on gratitude, I really have to stop myself and do what my grandfather taught me, which is take a few steps back and ask yourself, what am I really trying to do here? And like, what's really going on before I get back into the mix of it? And if you just remind yourself, like, hey, I've got this client that's paying me, you know, every single month, or this client that decided that chose me and they love me and they want to work with me and have fun. And even though things aren't working out exactly, well, you got to be thankful for that. I'm glad I'm having these challenges right now. So you just got to shift that mindset back, and then I get back into what I call my success mindset, and I can feel that. I know I can feel it. Every Monday we all get back together, I'm switched on for the week for sure, in a totally different way. So it's a really good pattern to get into. Start off the week right. Start off your morning with that gratitude.
Yeah. Well, the opposite of gratitude is a victim. Yeah. There's 3 ways to spot a victim. They blame other people and circumstances, right? They justify their actions and they complain all the time, right? That's what this beautiful purple accessory is for, right? The bold wristband. Every time that we catch ourselves complaining, blaming, or justifying our actions, we take that thing off and switch it, right? And it also helps us with the language patterns to, like you said, AJ, so perfectly, bring in the physiology into the psychology so that you can't control your first thought, yet you can control your second thought. And what does this have to do with sales? Talk to me about this, AJ.
Well, I'll jump into that on the sales. And what was interesting is one of our, not anybody on our team, but somebody else I think last week shared, you know, you can't control your first thought necessarily, but you can definitely control the next one. And his was road rage. Some people have, you know, road rage can ruin their whole day. But he used it very, very well, and was able to continue the day not pissed off, which was great. Which for me, I don't get road rage. I was like, all right, whatever. But that kind of stuff, it really helps with in personal life, because that would really affect the rest of his sales day. So the question was, for how does this affect sales? Just being in that success mindset. I mean, you've got the attitude and the fuel in the tank to make those calls, to do the things that you've time blocked and you've set out to do, instead of doing everything else and ending up at the end of the day with 80% of those things done, whereas you didn't even touch the 20. You didn't touch the most important things you were supposed to get done that day.
So referencing Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule, 20% of our activities yield at least 80% of our results, and gaining that clarity and action and having the appropriate mindset to attack that is critical. So we talked through some self-image points as well, with the intention to raise self-confidence and raise self-image. Can you maybe describe some of those exercises and what that did for you, AJ?
Just the process of you, or in the course, like asking us to start writing it. I'm a journaler anyway. I like to journal and write as well. But when you get a specific task and everybody's writing down their self-image, it reminds you. Like maybe people have never done. Some people have never done that before. Like write out your self-image, or maybe they haven't done it for a long time. So again, it's one of those reminders, and what I think is really cool about Bold is that it brings in NLP, it brings in experience from, how many years you've been doing this? Like the course? Like,
well, since I was little.
since you were little, right. I mean, you're
Yes.
bringing your experience, and a lot of smart people have gone through this program and built this program, so you're getting a lot of different perspectives into one course. So the application of just taking the time, everybody, it's silent, it's 20 minutes, and you're there to do that thing. There's no phone calls coming in, there's no distractions, you're there to do it. And once I did that, it was a reminder and it's just a perspective shift. It's like, hey, well, that doesn't serve me anymore. Why did I write that down? It causes you to question it. And then the great aspect about this community is we have different teams, but we're all on the same team. And we can say something out loud and say, hey, I just had a breakthrough, or I just had like a weird thought. I want to share it with everybody. And it becomes a discussion within your team and within the whole group of people and with you.
Yeah, so Bold is multiple layers of accountability. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, the Bold coach is holding everybody accountable to what they choose to accomplish, and then of course we have roundtables with a team that we've built, and we take you through some exercises to really truly form a team, taking you through storming into norming, and then finally performing, and then there's a team captain who's elected for that particular team.
Right.
And so the team captain helps us with accountability, and the teammates hold each other accountable, and we have accountability partners throughout the session, so they're calling in, checking in, making sure that they're doing the activities that's going to drive their life, their business to extraordinary results. So that's a lot of fun. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, AJ, was this whole notion of pain versus pleasure, and understanding how to create that switch cost. What has that been able to do for you in your life and your business?
It's everything. It's everywhere, every single day. To me, it's about away from or toward motivation. Pain is moving away from. Toward is moving towards. Pleasure is moving towards. So when you're able to take a thought or something you're going to say and switch it over to a toward motivation, it can be a lot more powerful than the avoidance of pain. Now, sometimes avoidance of pain works for people. But I think that in general, from what my own experience is that when you switch I'm talking about goals, your mantras, just again, it really comes back into those language patterns, the language in your head and the language that you're speaking. It has a profound effect, and I just like going towards pleasure, and identifying things in your life and your business. Okay, what am I frustrated with? What do I fear? A lot of people may or may not have heard this, but there's a mantra like "do feared things first" is kind of one of those that I'm a little bit on the fence about now, because I look at things with the one thing. The one thing is more important. I like that. That's more of a pleasure instead of saying, "Oh, I'm going to do my feared things first." Okay, well, let's just think of that in terms of the one thing philosophy. It just serves me better, and I've seen that work with my own clients and our teammates at Bold.
Excellent. In Bold, we describe using pain and pleasure to our advantage versus pain and pleasure using us. See, the reason that we procrastinate on certain activities and things is because of the perceived pain associated with actually doing the action, doing the work. Yeah. Yeah. And let's talk about lead generation just for a moment, because a lot of people have call reluctance. They don't like to pick up the phone. The phone feels like it's 1,000 pounds. What they're really doing is they're focused on the pain of potential rejection in most cases. Now, what if we focused on the pain of not taking the action instead?
Ooh.
If I don't lead generate, what happens to my business?
Things crumble.
It's going to go away.
Worse.
And so we want to add as much pain as we possibly can in not taking the action. So let's just be honest. If you don't lead generate in your sales business and you're not getting contracts and doing sales, well, ultimately you're not going to have money. And let's say you had a car note, right? A payment that you had to make on your car. What eventually happens to the car if you can't make the payment?
Bye-bye.
And how about your house? If you can't make the mortgage payment several months in a row, foreclosure, right?
Yeah.
And so we ask, is that painful? Well, of course it's painful. Now, let's make it really painful, though. How would your friends and your family view you if you couldn't make it in your current position?
Ooh, yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, that's painful.
That hurts.
Painful. And then we want to focus on the pleasure that we get from taking the activity. helping people, creating relationships, making friends. There's more than just getting a check out of a deal as it relates to pleasure than while you're lead generating. So when you focus on the pleasure that you get from the activity and you focus on the pain of not taking the activity, then what happens to the pain of actually doing it? It just kind of goes away, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
No doubt about it. And then it's a matter of having the right mindset to take the appropriate actions, acting appropriately in the moment for the highest level of return on time invested. And so Bold, it just gets you focused on lead generating. It gets you focused on closing business, and it gives you the skill set in language patterns to really influence people appropriately. So AJ, we'll give you there you go. I was going to ask you a question, yet all good things.
Lost my earbuds there.
So AJ, I appreciate your time so much. And what would you tell people about Bold? I mean, give us your recommendation, or what does that look like?
Sure. I was going to add that it's a momentum builder. I love momentum of energy. I love momentum in your business, in your life, and it's a momentum builder. If you're feeling like, hey, maybe things aren't going right in your business or life, it's a great catalyst. If you're doing great but you think you can do even better, it's a great catalyst. So I think whatever level you're at, give it a try, get dedication. And what is interesting is not just, you show up and you do this. There's accountability that's real, and you can also fail out of it. You can if you get foulers, if you don't do the things that need to be done, then there's a penalty, and I like that aspect of it. So it's a powerful program. I love it. I was honored to be one of the first in the Bold Business version. So I say do it. In any of the programs that Empire Builders put on, I go to literally everything. I think that a lot of the people know me over there because I literally have been for a while. I had a streak there that I was hitting all of the events, let alone the fact that my coach is through your company, who I love, and I absolutely got to give a shout out to my coach Corey. He's amazing. He has done amazing things in my life. I've had coaches before, but he takes the cake, and he's been absolutely amazing and helped me to get to a whole nother level.
Wonderful, wonderful. So AJ, you mentioned a couple of other events that we do. We do Empire Building, 13 Steps to Building Your Empire, and Gary Keller himself teaches that. Yeah. By the way, it's free, so the seats fill up real quickly. In fact, April 24th is already sold out, yet there's another event in July, so I'll encourage you to go to theonething.com with the number 1 and go on there and get registered for that right away before this one fills up, which it will probably in the next few weeks.
Guaranteed.
Career Visioning, by the way, happening on March 31st, which is how to hire the right talent to build your empire. I mean, how many books, AJ, have you seen or read that talk about how to hire the right people to your organization? None, right? There are
none, like none. None that are worth mentioning. No, there none. Yeah, it's an incredible program.
Yeah, the Career Visioning is a full-day presentation here in Austin at our headquarters. We have a wonderful training facility, and Mark Willis is going to walk us through a 7-hour presentation on how to do just that. Because you think about this. Let's say that you had 3 direct reports in your organization. You're the owner of the business, and you've got a total of 4 people in the organization, right? So 3 direct reports and yourself, that's 4 people. Yeah. Then you look at somebody like Gary who has 3 direct reports and 115,000 people in the organization, and you think, well, what's the difference, right? And it's the 3 people. So hiring the right 3 people, people that are empire builders that can take that job description and push it to the highest level of productivity, that's the critical piece, and that's what Career Visioning teaches us how to do. We've also got the One Thing full-day workshop coming up on April 15th. I'll encourage you guys to jump into that as well, where you get to do a deep dive into some of the proprietary tools that caused Gary's business to grow to be the world's largest real estate organization. So, AJ, anything else you'd like to add? Any parting thoughts, words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom. I'm gonna leave on one of the bold laws. So one of my favorite ones is. Let's see, I'm going to say, your business grows to the extent that you do. Your business grows to the extent that you do. And that's what this whole bold is about. That's your favorite bold law, exactly. It's true. What you guys have put together here is amazing. Thank you for having me on. And if you don't have a coach, my parting advice or thought is, like, get a coach. get a business coach. If you're an entrepreneur and you don't have a coach, you should get one. Just like Tony Robbins, just like anybody, always has mentors and coaches who are wicked smart and have been through the experience to continue to grow. It's the way to get through the plateaus.
Wonderful. Thank you, AJ. Really appreciate your time, Matt, and Viral Marketing. Special thanks to you guys for setting all this up. You make us look so good, and you make it so easy. I'll encourage you to reach out to Viral if you need some assistance with marketing and that sort of thing as well.
Yeah, appreciate the mention there, and guys, on future events with these, the one thing hangouts, and we're going to be shifting those into more of an empire builders kind of format. So we'll be interviewing more people. We're going to be doing this once a month. So this is actually a live, also a Q&A session. So during these events, you can actually come and submit your questions through the Q&A app on Google, and we can actually bring them to Sean and the guests throughout the event and get your questions answered live. So as we continue to doing more events, we like to see more Q&A come in. Definitely get more of an interactive element in the live events.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. Thanks again so much, guys, and we'll see you on the next hangout.
Appreciate it. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.